And my next question is this: when it comes to best self living,
Mhm.
what setbacks and hardships that you had to deal with to get to even get to that concept? I'm sure you had. What did you let learn? What did you have to learn about yourself to get to that concept, to get that philosophy?
Okay, well, a number of different things. Um, let's see. Hmm. What did I have to go through to come to the point of that concept? Well, here we go. So, I told you I've been on this journey for this recipe for happiness, right? And along the way, steps along the way in my life, things would happen that would play a part in me having transformation take place in my life. Okay, so I told you about the incident with the violence and abuse as a
Yes.
10-year-old. Well, then as a teenager, for some reason or another, I became a shy teenager, right? So I was a shy teenager from the age of, let's say, 15 till almost 20. And I didn't like being shy because I have this twin brother and he's the outgoing twin. Now, get this. At first, he was labeled the bad twin and I was labeled the good twin. But I was basically labeled the good twin because I was the quiet twin.
Exactly.
And I didn't like being shy because he got all the girls. He would talk to the girls that I wanted to talk to, but was too afraid to talk to. And so, anyway, about time I'm 19, I'm about to graduate from college, and I say, wait a minute, I'm about to be a grown man, and I should be able to talk to anybody, anytime about anything.
Yes.
Anyway, somehow I got introduced to a book called Your Erroneous Zone by Dr. Wayne Dyer, a book called Your Erroneous Zone. And I read that book. And in that book, it shared insight on how to get out of that cycle of shyness. And basically said, as long as you say you are shy, then you will behave in a shy manner. And as long as
Yes.
you behave in a shy manner, then you will continue to define yourself as shy. And so the cycle continues, the cycle continues. And then I realized that the power, so I learned from there, was about the power in the word. And then later on, I moved to California to live with my brother, and he and I couldn't see eye to eye, and we were bumping heads. And so I ended up moving out. And that was a hurtful thing to me because this guy was my best friend growing up, and anything that we did together, we were successful at. But he left college 2 years before I did to join the service. And so while I was
Okay.
finishing up college, he had moved to San Diego because he was in the Navy out there. And so after I finished college, I moved out there to live with him. But his attitude and his mentality was different than mine, and we started bumping heads. And so I fell out with my brother, and I was angry and I was upset
Mm.
because there was something wrong with my brother as far as I was concerned. Okay.
Right.
So later on, uh, I'm supposed to be telling you, is this good, Mike? We all right?
Oh yeah, be fine.
Okay, okay. So I'm trying to, there's just steps along the way. So I, I got I got word of the power of the word, right? Then remember when I did the workshop, you can have it all. Then I got power of purpose and doing what you truly love to do, and how the universe will support you in it. Because get this, prior to me doing that workshop, I had made $5 an hour teaching tennis, Mike. $5 an hour. And so I said to
Mm.
myself, I'm doing what I enjoy doing, but I'm not making
Right.
any money doing it. And so how am I
Exactly.
going to do this? But this guy said, his name was Arnold Patton. He said, do what you truly love to do, and the universe will support you in it. You just have to be open and receptive to it. As a result of me being open and receptive to it, I started teaching tennis. I continued to teach tennis, making that $5. But I promise you this, within a couple of years, I went from making $5 an hour teaching tennis in Detroit to working for Arthur Ashe, Nick Bollettieri in their first inner city
Mm.
program in Newark, New Jersey, making $60,000 a year. Now,
Oh
back
man,
back in the 80s, that was a nice piece of change.
that was a nice piece of change then.
Nice piece of change. And so that inspired me to stay on the path that I was on. Okay. So then again, later on, I actually attended an education corporation program called Landmark Forum. And in the Landmark Forum, they taught me something about communication and they also taught me something about the power of choice. Okay. And so that helped transform my life. Well, fast forward, Mike. I'm teaching tennis. I've been teaching tennis about 15, 20 years. And one Saturday morning, I'm in the shower, and out of nowhere, this question pops up, Mike. The question pops up.
Mm.
And I'm like, what is this? But it stuck with me. It stuck with me. And I said, wait a minute. I don't know what this means or what to do with it, but it means something. And so I took the question, I pondered on it for a little while. And guess what I did? I used the question in my tennis program, and it transformed my tennis teaching. It transformed my tennis
Oh
teaching.
man.
It transformed my tennis teaching. And so when I got laid off, that was the program I was working on. The program I was working on is called Who You Being? Who are you being?
Who are
That's
you
right.
being?
Who are you being? But the short version is who you being. That's how I say it. Who you being? And so I used that question, and like I said, it actually transformed my tennis. And so I'm working on that question. I'm working on that question. I'm working on that question. I'm sharing this who you being concept with people. And then it seemed like it wasn't catching on. It wasn't catching on, and something was missing, and something was missing. And then one day, best self living popped up. Being your best self, right? And then after best self living popped up, then I was able to utilize who you being to support people in best self living. And so that's how the program actually came